Śrīmad Paschatadeshatarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gauraraya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay. So today we're doing verse 2 of Canto 1, Chapter 1, verse 2. Okay, repeat after me. Dharma, Projita, Ketavo, Tra, Paramo, Nirmatsaranam, Satam, Dharma Projita, Ketavo, Tra, Paramo, Nirmatsaranam, Satam,
Dharma Projita Ketavo.
That's the Ketavo, Tra, Paramo. Okay, it's not, that's fine. Okay, Vedyam, Vastavam, Atra, Vastu, Shivadam, Tapa, Trayanmulanam, Śrīmad-Bhāgavate, Maha, Muni, Krite, Kim, Va, Parer, Ishvaraha, Sadyo, Hridi, Avaradhuyate, Tra, Kritabhihi, Shushrushabhis, Tatkshanath. Okay, so repeat the verse. Repeat with me. Dharma Projita Ketavotra Paravo Nirmatsaranam Satam.
Dharma Projita Ketavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam.
Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam Tapa Trayon Mulanam.
Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayona Mulanam.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva Parer Ishvaraha.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva Parer Ishvaraha.
Sadya Hridi Avaradhuyate Tra Kritavihi Shushrushabhis Tatkshnath.
Sadyo Hridi Avrudyate Tra Kritibhi Shushrushabhi Tatskshanath.
Okay, I'll say the synonyms. Dharma, religiosity, Projita, completely rejected. Ketavaha, covered by fruitive intention. Atra, herein. Paramaha, the highest. Nirmatsaranam, of the 100% pure in heart. Satam, devotees. Vedyam, understandable. Vastavam, factual. Atra, herein. Vastu, substance. Shivadam, well-being. Tapatraya, threefold miseries. Unmulanam, causing uprooting of. Śrīmad, beautiful. Bhagavate, the Bhagavad Puran. Mahamuni, the great sage Vyasadeva. Krite, having compiled. Kim, what is. Va, the need. Parehi, others. Ishvaraha, the Supreme Lord. Sadhyaha, at once. Hridi, within the heart. Avaradhuyate, becomes compact. Atra, herein. Kritabihi, by the pious man. Shushrushabhihi, by culture. Tatkshanath, without delay. Translation. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in the heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva, in its maturity, is sufficient in itself for God-realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively He is the message of Bhagavatam. By this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord established within his heart. Okay, the purport's quite long, so I'll read the first page in a bit, and then I'll read the remaining purport whenever I cover the relevant line. Purport by Srila Prabhupada,
Jai.
Religion includes 4 primary subjects, namely pious activities, economic development, satisfaction of the senses, and finally liberation from material bondage. Religious life is a barbarous condition. Indeed, human life begins when religion begins. Eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating are the 4 principles of animal life. These are common both to animals and to human beings. But religion is the extra function of the human being. Without religion, human life is not better than animal life. Therefore, in human societies, there is some form of religion which aims at self-realization and which makes reference to man's eternal relationship with God. In the lower stages of human civilization, there is always competition to lord of the material nature, or in other words, there is continuous rivalry to satisfy the senses. Driven by such consciousness, man turns to religion. He thus performs pious activities or religious functions in order to gain something material. But if such material gains are obtainable in other ways, then so-called religion is neglected. This is the situation of modern civilization. Man is thriving economically, so at present he is not very interested in religion. Churches, mosques, or temples are now practically vacant. Men are interested in factories, shops, and cinemas than in religious places which are erected by their forefathers. This practically proves that religion is performed for some economic gains. Economic gains are needed for sense gratification. Often when one is baffled in the pursuit of sense gratification, he takes to salvation and tries to become one with the Supreme Lord. Consequently, all these states are simply different types of sense gratification. In the Vedas, the above-mentioned 4 activities are prescribed in a directed way, so that there will not be any undue competition for sense gratification. The Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is transcendental to all these sense gratificatory acts. It is purely transcendental literature which can be understood only by the pure devotees of the Lord, with transcendental competitive sense gratification. In the material world, there is keen competition between animal and animal, man and man, community and community, nation and nation. But the devotees of the Lord rise above such competitions. They do not compete with the materialists because they are on the path back to Godhead, where life is eternal and blissful. Such transcendentalists are non-enemies and pure in heart. In the material world, everyone is enemies of everyone else, and therefore there is competition. The transcendental devotees of the Lord are not only free from material envy, but are well wishers to everyone, and they strive to establish a competition of society with God in the center. The contemporary socialist conceptions of the competition society is artificial, because in a socialist state there is competition for the post of dictator. From the point of view of the Vedas, or from the point of view of common human activities, sense gratification is the basis of material life. There are 3 paths mentioned in the Vedas. One involves fruit activities to gain promotion to better planets. Another involves worshipping different demigods for promotion to the planets of the demigods. Another involves realizing the absolute truth and is a personal feature and becoming one with Him. Okay, I'll stop there and I'll carry on the purport with relevance. Okay. Before we dive into this verse, so how many of you actually came to the class last week? 1, 2, 3. Okay, very good. Okay, so let me ask you, what did you learn last week? Too long ago?
Yeah, it was a long purport.
Long purport. Did you read the whole purport?
Yes, we did.
Oh, man, that's like 10 pages. Okay, I'll ask you then. What did you learn from the class last week? Nothing? Too long?
Sure, not here. आप थे फिर 10 बजे के लेक्चर से last Saturday?
No.
Okay, that's the. Yeah. Okay, does anybody want to comment on the first verse or should I go through with you? I'll go through it, no problem. Okay, there's a reason why I'm going through it, because there's relevance. Okay, let's find the first verse. That's like purple. There we go. So it starts Om Namo Bhāgavata-Sevayā, offering obeisances unto Personality Godhead Vasudeva. So it's Oh my Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva. That's important there because it's automatically establishing that it's Krishna you're offering obeisances to, nobody else. Then there's Janmadhyasya Yato Navayadi Tarataschatesh Amdigyaha Swarat. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. Again, important, because we're established not only as Krishna, that he is the absolute truth. He is Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan. He is all three. And he is the primeval cause of all causes of creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifest universes. So everything that's happening, has happened, will happen, is because of him. And he is directly independent, directly and direct conscious of all manifestations. And there's no other cause beyond him. So then the Brahma Hridaya Adhikavaya, he only first imparted the Vedic knowledge into the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him in the great stages of demigods are put illusion. Only because of him the material universe is temporarily manifested. By the reduction through multitude appears factually good and real. And then the final line, I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, whose eternal existence in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Again, the reason why I'm going over this is because actually the first three lines are interlinked. So the first verse actually explains our sambandh with Krishna, our relationship with Krishna. Before we can do anything, we need to actually understand what our relationship is. This first verse is telling us of Krishna's greatness, why we should care. Like Krishna, why are we here? Why are we doing everything? What is it all about? It's all about the relationship with Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are his part and parcel. Until we recognize that, our lives will be full of misery. It's never to move forward. So once we've established a sambandh, we move on to the next verse, which would be
Abhideya,
the process. And what do you think is a process for establishing a relationship with Krishna? I'll ask you, what do you think is a process? Simple answer.
Bhakti.
Chanting close, yes, bhakti, that's preferable answer. So bhakti, so that's what I'll be talking about in the second verse, is the importance of bhakti, namely the difference between real religion and cheating religion. And then the third verse, which will happen next week, as soon, that covers Prayojana. Prayojana meaning the ultimate goal. What do you think is the ultimate goal? Godhead, yes.
Krishna Prem.
Krishna Prem, exactly. You need to, so you've understood Krishna's greatness, you've understood that you are his part and parcel, his eternal servant, then you actually take into the process like we are doing today. We take into the process of doing arti, we're chanting, we're listening to class. That's part of the process. Then we're trying to get back. We preach to others as well. And then ultimately, we're trying to get back to Godhead. We establish ourselves in whatever our relationship with the Lord. That'll be the next verse. So I won't go too far into it because whoever's covering would want to cover that. But you'll discover your ras, what is your real relationship with Krishna. That'll be the next one. For this particular verse, it starts off with Dharma Prochna Ketavatra, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is actually understood to be the postgraduate study of the science of Godhead. And actually this verse is a good example of how that makes sense. See, Bhagavad Gita, the final verses is Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papabhyo Moksha Vishyan Mashujaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions, do not fear. Now this verse is explaining what these varieties of religion are. Reject these religious activities that are materially motivated. So there's a natural link there. It's not just that, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam's book, religious scripture, Bhagavad Gita religious scripture, there's a link there. So if you feel confused, what are these religions I need to abandon, I need to reject these materially motivated religions, religious activities, shall I say. So we typically find ourselves in a situation of as the embodied soul, we go from boyhood to youth to old age, and then we meet at death, and then we go back to the cycle again, reincarnation. It keeps going. So the madness keeps going. But instead, the soul person is not bewildered by such an issue. The sober person is the pure devotee. He is not bothered by such situation because he understands his real relationship with Krishna. He understands that if I follow this path, I will go back to Godhead. So there's no bewilderment there. So we need to get into that mode as well. So let's explain the purport that religion includes 4 primary subjects. Do we remember what the 4 primary subjects are? Okay, I'll give you the first one. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Good. So dharma means, in this situation, means pious activities. So the example of pious activity would be, say, for example, you go to the temple, you do some puja. That is what typically is for the common person going to the mandir. He goes for, when you get some puja, then you ask for artha. You ask, dear Bhagavan, please give me some money. I'll need some money. I'm struggling. Please help me. You get some money. Then you ask for. What do? You engage in karma. You engage in sense gratification. You enjoy the family. You enjoy your friends. You go through the cycle. Then after you've stickered out, you've had your fun, whatever. You gotten old. You had enough. Then you head towards. Then you ask. You go to the Lord. They say, "Can you give me moksha? I'm done now. Can I get liberation?" This is cheating religion. This is nonsense religion. You're essentially asking Krishna, or whoever you're praying to, that can I take your property, enjoy it for myself, and when I'm done, I can come back to God. I'm done now, and I'm done. That is nonsense religion. That is what Bhagavata-Sevayā is trying to tell you to avoid. So if you can, so if you avoid, that's what you're trying to avoid. So again, that's why this first 3 lines are so important. So, Sambandha Abhidaya Prayojan is giving you the guidelines how to work. Even within the Chatushloki in the Canto 2, which is in Canto 2, you've got 4 verses there. First 2 are Sambandha, but again, Lord Brahma and the Lord's situation. It's explaining to you that there's a process there that even Lord Brahma follows that. I understand my relationship, I understand the process of going about it, and I go back to Godhead. So there's a process that needs to be followed. That is how we go about in real dharma. Otherwise, we find ourselves stuck in this whole situation of birth, death, old age, and disease. It just keeps going and going. We need to come to religion. So you'd ask then, why is it that having discovered real religion, people struggle to come to it? Then it's explained, Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam. So this Bhagavata-Purana provides high scriptures more understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in the heart. So that's the problem here. Too many people are not fully pure in the heart. So, like I said, we tend to think everything is our property. We think that the moment we get something, it's for us to enjoy. We forget very easily it's Krishna's property. Everything needs to be channeled for Krishna. When we enjoy something, it binds us to it. Materially, we can bind to it. We suffer the reactions from it. This cycle keeps going and going. And it's actually explained in the 5th chapter that this madness will continue wherever you go in this world. You can go to Satyalok, you can go to Patal. Wherever you want to go in the material world, material universe, you've got to keep enjoying this madness. You need to come to real religion. So, for whatever reason, it's always, there's millions, there's 8.4-ish million species, but it's only the humans who seem to think that they are the enjoyer as such. Even the animals, they kind of just go through a process. It's only humans that have the ego think that we are God almost. That's the madness there. So we need to, at the process, that's why bhakti is such a great boon for us, the process. I'll give the example of Shukadeva Goswami. Everybody knows Shukadeva Goswami? Yes, that's good. So Shukadeva Goswami is who instructed Maharaj Parikshit, and it's Maharaj Parikshit cursed by the Brahmin boy Shringi. He found, so 7 days to live, he needs help. Then by Krishna's grace, he meets Shukadeva Goswami. And such is the greatness of Shukadeva Goswami that there were many, many stages present there at the bed of Ganges. The Maharaj Parikshit was, instructed. You had sages as Vyasdev, who actually, he'd written so many of our, Shastras, there was Nard's Muni. You think the greatness of Nard's Muni, is Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, so many great personalities that he has instructed. But it was Shukadeva Goswami who actually instructed Parikshit Maharaj. He was given that responsibility. So this gives you an idea, but even Shukadeva Goswami, he had to go through the process. He was born a liberated soul, but even he had to learn at the feet of his father, Srila Vyasadeva. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there is a process that we all need to follow. Even Shukadeva Goswami, as great as he was, he needs to follow the process of learning from a pure devotee. You learn from his father about bhakti, how it all happens. So you might be very advanced, you might know a lot of scholarly stuff, but until you learn the process from somebody who knows how to do it, it won't properly follow. You won't be pure in heart. So that's what we're trying to get to here. So next is Vedyam Vastam Atravastu Shivadam. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. So, like I said, this is the postgraduate study of Science of Godhead. So this is in this case that we might be confused. Even the sages back then were confused. So we had the conversation between Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. There's another conversation going on about this conversation. So discourse by discourse. That's the 6 questions asked by the sages of Naimisharanya to Srila Sutta Goswami. And does anybody know what the first question was? No? I thought you would know everything. Well, okay. First question was, what is the ultimate good for all humanity? And that is explained in 1.2.6. Save pum sam palo dharmo yito bhakti dokshije ehetoki aparatihata yatma supersiti. The supreme occupation dharma of all humanity is that which men can undertake to loving devotional service and attraction to the Lord. And then, so in other words, we're talking about bhakti again. That is the ultimate good. So it's not just us who are confused in this lifetime. Great sages who are spiritually enlightened, they tend to come to the platform of bhakti. So following this, we need to come to the point that we need to understand that this highest truth, which is for the welfare of all, but we actually need to take the welfare. Until we actually take the welfare, it's going to be a struggle. Okay, and so this is such a problem as such that even people will find excuses not to do bhakti. But they don't understand, even going to the Brahma Jyoti, for example, that is still problematic. So the effulgence of the Lord. Like yogis like to go into the effulgence, like to merge one into the effulgence. That is still problematic, because the problem there is that you can get to the Brahma Jyoti, you can merge one into the Lord, but you get bored there. Then what happens? You come back here, you come back to the spiritual world, you come back as a great philanthropist, very charitable. Sounds nice, but you're back in the same mess all over again. So that's what I will keep saying this all over and over again, this particular verse. You need to take the bhakti. Anything else is cheating to God, cheating Krishna. If you take the bhakti, you put yourself in this mess. There's actually there's a verse I found thanks to my dad that he was actually reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, and there's a particular verse that actually covers this particular 1.1.2. So for those familiar with Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita is the graduate study of Science of Godhead. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the postgraduate study of Godhead. Chaitanya Charitamrita is the PhD study of Godhead. So this particular verse, the 1.9.1 actually explains this. So again, it goes over it again. So it actually explains the whole situation. But I'll actually say this verse beforehand. So from Adi Lila, Dui by Hridayera Keshali Andagara, Dui Bhagavata Sangye Karana Sakshatkara. But these two brothers, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, dissipate the darkness of the inner core of their heart, and thus they help one meet the two kinds of Bhagavatas, persons or things in relationship with the person of Godhead. So I was wondering why this verse came up actually, but then actually this morning when I saw Sheti Nanda and Vijay Chand, it's actually a glorification of them actually. They are the two brothers that will help guide us away from this madness that we're currently in. And they come to us not only in terms of their teachings, but through Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is the book Bhagavata. we take association of it, then we can, like it's one of the 5 limbs of bhakti as well, we take association of it, then we can put our minds towards Krishna as opposed to our own selfish needs. But that's, again, we don't actually recognize how fortunate we are to have the mercy of Mahaprabhu in this particular life, in this particular age, because Mahaprabhu only comes once in the cycle of Brahma. So we got the Chaturayuga, he only appears of one, and the 1,000 Chaturyugas in one day of Brahma. Mahaprabhu comes only one Chaturayuga, and we're lucky enough for him to come in this Chaturayuga. But we also need to understand that we actually need the mercy. So I'll ask everyone, amongst all the innumerable universes, where do you think our universe is in terms of size? Do you think we're the biggest or the smallest or the medium? What do you think we are about?
One of the smallest.
One of the smallest? Okay, Matsuji, what do you think? In terms of size of the universes, where do you think we're at? What do you think? Biggest, smallest, medium? You can just take a guess. What do you think? You answer this. I reckon you know everything. You're just pretending like you don't know anything. What do you think? Biggest, medium, smallest?
Which universe are we? Medium.
Okay, I'll give you the answer.
Smallest?
We are smallest. How do we know this? We know this by the amount of heads up Lord Brahma has. Our Brahma only has 4 heads. That is very little compared to there are Brahmas out there that have hundreds, thousands of heads. Our universe is the tiniest universe. That's the thing, we have such great ego, we don't actually realize we're the dumbest of the universe. We're the fools of, that's why Mahaprabhu recognized that these fools need our, they need my mercy. So we should take it while you got it, because if you find yourself in this mess again, you might not come back to bhakti straight away, it might take you time to get back to bhakti. So while you're rolling, keep pushing. I see that's the thing, our false ego is such that we think we are so great. We're really not that great at all. We're actually very mediocre. We're just lucky we have the association with the great devotees, Prabhupada. We need to, while we're in the right path, stay in the right path. So, and the next is Tapatrayan Moolanam. Such truth uproots the 3-fold miseries. So, again, I'll ask Prabhuji hiding in the back there. What are the 3-fold miseries? No. I'll give you the first one. Adidevik. Okay. Okay, ask everyone to explain. Just keep it awake. Okay, what is Adidevik?
Calamities which is given from the demigods.
Yes. So like nature, like hurricanes and all that sort of stuff. Okay, what about Adhyatmik?
From Atma.
From
inside.
different entities, people have this.
Mind. Think mind. Consciousness is a bit out of sync. And lastly, Adibhotik.
From others.
From
Other beings. Yeah.
mosquitoes or any other living entities.
Exactly, yeah. Any living entities. In that includes, if you're in India, the mosquitoes will cause you problems. But so the importance of this is that these miseries in this life cannot be avoided. Whatever stage you're at, you will be struggling with these miseries. So this is the purpose of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We take association of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we learn how to deal with these miseries. First we understand that everything is sanctioned by Krishna. You see, naturally when something bad happens to us, we think, oh, what's this happened to me? I'm a good person, why did it all go wrong? It's not that you're necessarily a bad person, it's just that you're in this world because you have certain things you've done in your past lives that you need to deal with, your karma you need to deal with. And there's karma from other people you associate with. While in this miserable world, you have these things you constantly keep dealing with. So you need to understand while you're in this world, the misery you need to deal with, but Krishna is sanctioning them. So I need to deal with them as a devotee. But if I deal with them as a devotee, then I can progress. More so, you need to understand this is for your own purification. If you think everything as the punishment, then you're just going to moan and groan. But if you see that as a purification, then you actually understand this is good for me. It might not feel good for you at the time. It might hurt really bad. You might be upset, you might be crying, you might do all shouting, screaming, all sorts of stuff. But you have to understand Krishna is trying to help you. You need to get through this. Best way to see it, look at your own bhakti. Are you advancing? Are you getting taste for chanting? Are you getting taste for kirtan, taste for association, taste for hearing Bhagavatam? If my class is proving particularly painful for you right now, you need purification. So this is not random happenings. This is Krishna helping you. You might not feel like help at the moment, but it will help you as you keep going. And the beauty of Bhagavatam is, again, the postgraduate study of the science of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is, Arjuna is bewildered. He needs instruction. Krishna's getting him sorting man, like snap out of it, you are the greatest warrior of your generation. Pick up your gun, even fight. So it's straight instruction. Arjun wakes up, Arjun's ready to fight, Arjun's already told, everything's going to happen is going to happen. You showed him his Virat Roop, they're all going to go. This is just for you to get, I'm giving you the glory because you're my devotee. Now in Bhagavatam, we understand about the ordeals of the devotees, but it's not a bad thing. What we understand from this is from their experience. So I'll give the example of Pandavas. Like Kunti Mata, she went through so much, lost her husband early. The Rashtra and the Kurus constantly punishing, trying to poison Bhim. The Lakshya, the House of Wax, sort of burn them alive. One thing after another, absolute madness. Yet at the end, when Krishna was about to leave for Dwarka, she says to him, I will go through it all over again, just as long as I have your association. Yeah, that is the example we need to be. Now I want you to think about some examples from Bhagavatam as well, of where devotees, great personalities went through such troubling ordeals, but they used it as their way to strengthen their relationship with the Lord. Okay, I'll start with somebody. Okay, just name me an example of a great personality devotee who went through a lot of troubles, but then he came through it because of his devotion.
Prahlad.
There's a break. You'll stop Prahlad. How did Prahlad come through it?
He always remembered Krishna. That was his quality. He always remembered Krishna through every situation.
Mm.
He saw that as a mercy, and he knew that whatever is happening, it's all good.
Okay. I'll ask you. I'll ask both of you actually. Name personality in Bhagavatam. Anybody you like? Who struggled through situation, but because of their devotion, their belief, their strength, their bhakti, they came through it. Arjun, I'll not mention so much in Bhagavatam, but okay, how did Arjun come through it?
Because in the battle, he didn't want to do it, but Krishna kind of persuaded him to do it.
Okay, and what about before the battle? Arjun suffered a lot as well. How did he come through all that?
Listening to Krishna.
Yeah, no, simple. Listening to Krishna, faith in Krishna, following Krishna's instructions. Simple as that. Okay, Matthews, I'll ask you. Again, it's not a hard question if you just think about it. Name somebody in Bhagavatam that has struggled with great ordeals, but then came through it thanks to the love of Krishna, or like Nrsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj, how they came through. Just think of any personality.
Could I come up with, apart from Bhagavatam?
Okay, name one. Go ahead.
So far I've read the journey of book on that is of Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and I've been reading about his journey. So it has been a very roller coaster journey, of course, and then the one thing that was constant, that his faith towards the Lord did never shake up, and which is why he is what he is today. So Radhanath Maharaj is an example of pure devotee, somebody who has done so much for the movement. Yeah.
I know a number of Radhanath Maharaj's disciples. They do wonderful work. So again, they've struggled, but because of their faith in Krishna, they keep going, and then they provide inspiration to other people as well. They might be new to the movement, they'll be a long time in the movement, but they keep going, and that's that same situation where they keep going. because they know Krishna is with them. And when Krishna is with you, then you're not. And the suffering becomes joy. It's like it's a switch that says. So for example, here it says that the impersonal aspect of absolute truth is not the highest, but the impersonal feature is Paramatma feature, but this feature is absolute truth is Bhagavan. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam gives information about the absolute truth in personal feature. Higher than impersonal literatures and Jnana Kanda, higher than Karma Kanda, higher than Upshara Kanda division, because it represents the supreme personality of God and Lord Krishna. So in the Karma Kanda, there's competition to reach heavenly plans for sanctification, and there's similar competition with Jnana Kanda, Upshara Kanda. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is similar spirit to all of these because it aims at supreme truth, which is the substance or root of all categories. With Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, one can come to know the substance as well as the categories. So the reason I mentioned that particular part there is that while we keep trying to struggle away from Krishna, there's lots of very intelligent people, as such, very spiritually elevated people. They keep trying to look for ways away from Krishna. Like just mentioned in Upashana Kanda, that's the idea that you worship some of the demigods in order to take you towards Bhakti. You're asking them, please take me towards Bhakti. But Krishna's, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam telling you, you don't have to bother with that so much. Just go straight to Krishna. Stop watering, like the classic example, watering the leaves. Water the root. That's the classic example. So next line is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Mahamuni Krita. This beautiful Bhagavatam compiled with a great stage Vyasadeva in its maturity. Again, I've spoken about how fortunate we are. This is another example of how fortunate we are. Now, normally, Vyasadeva is usually a Shaktivish, is usually a power jiva, a Shaktivish avatar takes this role. But in this age, it's actually Narayan who takes the role. Lord Narayan himself takes the role. So when we're thinking, how can we rely on the scriptures? We can rely on the scriptures because the Lord himself is looking after us. He's giving us his particular scripture. So I'll give the example of, we need to rely on authoritative sources, so that's when we rely on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. But when we rely on defective sources, that's when we get confused. So an example will be, what are the 4 defects of a conditioned soul? Okay, I'll give you the first one. He must commit mistakes. That's one of the defects. Can you think of any?
Cheating.
Cheating propensity, yeah.
Always an illusion.
Always an illusion.
And make mistakes.
I've already said that one. Senses.
Yeah.
Imperfect senses.
Imperfect senses.
So are you familiar with that? Yes. So the point of that is that when we rely on our own mental speculation, we get guided to the wrong path. We make mistakes. We have a tendency to cheat sometimes. We get illusioned. Like you can all look at the same thing. We could all see something different. It just depends how we see it. Not just through the eyes, we see through the mind. So that's how we see things. So we need to rely on authoritative sources that we can rely on. And that's why we have Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. When we have that, that's when things work. When we don't, that's when we go make mistakes. What's the need of any scripture? Bhagavatam is explained as a literary incarnation of the Lord. So in chapter 3, Krishna Swadhama Bhagavate Dharma Gyana Divisaha Kala Nashta Dishamesha Puranarko Dunoditaha. So I don't know if we have Brother Purnima campaigns alive here at the moment, but some temples they're trying to get Bhagavatam sponsorship going. I think like 100,000 worldwide they're trying to aim for, and that is so important because Bhagavatam is the incarnation of the Lord. It is understood. It is considered to be as brilliant as the sun. Now, just think how important the sun is to us. It gives us light, gives us heat. We can't exist without the sun. Water, food we eat, the grains, everything. The grains, vegetables, everything. We need the sun. Without the sun, we would die. At least without these bodies anyway. That is how important Bhagavatam is. We should be taking that kind of attachment to Bhagavatam. If we don't have that kind of love for Bhagavatam, that kind of focus, then we won't properly engage in it, because it is understood that in this age, when Krishna's Prakriti Lila has ended, this is our guide. It will give us vision in this darkness of Kali Yuga. That's why we need to take advantage of this. And then last line is Satya Hridaya Avarduyate Trakritabihi, as soon as one attentively submits to his Bhāgavatam Shishrabihi Tat Kishanad, by this cultural knowledge, the Supreme Lord established within his heart. So I've spoken to you all about how how it's important that we should be taking advantage of Bhagavatam and everything, and how it's necessary to how this will help you in your life. And there are so many examples of who have helped in their life. But in order to do all this, in order to Krishna's present heart, we need to follow the culture of knowledge. The culture of knowledge, disciplic succession. We take advantage of that. For us, like for example, there's a case of you need to have such qualifications to hear, you need to qualifications to speak. Now to speak, should be a pure devotee really. Now, you could argue, well, you're not pure devotee, why are you speaking? I'm not speaking my mental speculation, I'm speaking what Prabhupada is saying. The pure devotee has given his purport, therefore I can speak because I'm speaking his words. Likewise, when you're hearing, it should be done in the right manner. It shouldn't be done in a challenging manner. It shouldn't be done as you're trying to defeat the other person. This is not a scholarly debate. This is about devotional service. So when you engage with the devotees, you try to learn from them, and then you can share your information with them as well. It's back and forth. It's a loving exchange almost in that sense. So we do that. Then if we're confused about anything, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. The system is there. You're confused, you don't agree with something, ask a saintly person, look to Shastra, ask your Guru. If all three confirm, then even if you didn't necessarily agree, then you understand that this was correct. It's just my misunderstanding. And if there is something wrong, then you can say to Prabhuji, I didn't agree with this. This is said here, then you can look it through, you can work this through. It's not about making the other person look dumb, it's about helping each other advance. That is the point. It's not one up my shit. It's working together. That's how you get back to Godhead. That's how everybody else gets back to Godhead. So I'll end at this point actually in terms of.
Prabhuji, I've got a question.
Oh, good.
Krishna is the incarnation of Lord Vishnu.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we just worship Krishna and not the Lord Vishnu? Why is he known in the Bhagavatam as the absolute truth and supreme personality of God?
Well, actually, that's the funny thing. Actually, is that we understand from our scriptures that there's Krishna in Vrindavan. That is the original. He's the original personality, supreme personality of Godhead. Now, his expansion is Narayan. From Narayan, we get Mahavishnu, Bhagavan-Sevayā Vishnu, and Keshava Vishnu, who then comes into our Paramatma. That's why we worship him. The confusion comes is that sometimes that Krishna, he only comes once in a cycle. Otherwise, it's actually Krishna, who's Vasudeva Krishna comes through. So the confusion comes that normally it wouldn't be the supreme Krishna who normally comes. So that is where the confusion comes. Krishna is supreme, but he doesn't always come as himself as such. He comes in a different mood. So that's why, it's actually Krishna is actually, Vishnu is actually expansion of Krishna. It's just that Krishna is so tricky, sometimes he tries to fool us and think that Vishnu is supreme. But Vishnu and Krishna are essentially non-different. It's just that Krishna shows all the qualities, whereas Vishnu will show a certain amount of qualities. We can still both worship, ultimately it depends on where you want to go back into God. If you want to go to the topmost planet, Goloka Vrindavan, then you worship Krishna. If you want to go to one of the Vaikuntha planets, you can worship Lord Narayan, or you can worship Nrsimhadev maybe, Lord Ram, if you want to go back to Yodhya. It's all about where you want to go back to. But from scripture, we understand that Krishna is the original, then Vishnu is the expansion. Is that okay? Okay.
And when you said that I remember you telling that if despite you go to the, go back to the Godhead, what is the use if you don't have that bhakti and you get bored over there? So we come back here to do the bhakti.
That's not Godhead, that's the Brahmajyoti. Brahmajyoti is the effulgence of the Lord. So like yogis, jnanis, they want to achieve, they don't accept Krishna's, they don't accept his individuality, they think we are all one. So they want to merge into his effulgence. That is the fence there, is that by not accepting Krishna as individuality, we are all part and parcel of Krishna, we accept him as the Supreme Personality Godhead. So when you try to merge into him, you merge into effulgence, but there's no service there. And if you don't serve the Lord, then you'll eventually get bored. That is our natural propensity to serve. Now, our natural propensity to serve Krishna. But when we try to serve and if you're not serving Krishna, we're serving ourselves, serving family, friends, nation, whatever. The natural propensity to serve. But we should be trying to serve Krishna. When we serve Krishna, then we're okay. When we don't serve Krishna, then we head towards cheating religion, which is what this verse is all about. So, is that okay?
Yes. So, is it like the bhakti is equal to Krishna Prema, or the calculated bhakti that people do that, just for the sake of doing it?
Depends on the quality of bhakti. So, pure devotional service, that is, you're essentially with associated Krishna while you're here. That's the difference between a pure devotee and a devotee's advancing. So devotee's advancing might be some reason for doing devotional service. For example, you want to be the top kirtaniya, you want to be the top speaker, there's some selfishness there. But the pure devotee is doing it for Krishna. Krishna will do whatever service you want you to do. If you want me to go and clean dishes, I'll go and clean dishes. You want me to cut the garden for you, cut the garden. Whatever you want me to do. It doesn't. And then by the same token, if you want me to give a class before 10,000 people, I'll do that as well. Whatever it takes. So Prabhupada is our example. Prabhupada could go back to Godhead. He's done everything. It's all good. But he came over at such an old age, sailed on the ship, had cardiac arrest, suffered so much, but he kept going, because that was the mood that I need to get everybody else to come back to Godhead as well. So that's the mood of a pure devotee, not just get yourself back, get everybody else back as well. Now, one thing I would say is that you need to understand your own level as such. Just focus on getting yourself back to Godhead. Help others, but also make sure you get back first. Okay, you don't want to get into a situation where you think to yourself, "I'm going to get everybody else back to Godhead. I'm going to come back here again and again." That's when things get tricky, because we push ourselves beyond our own limit as such. We're not like Prahlad Maharaj. We're not that level, but we can ascend to an excellent level if we serve the pure devotee, learn from them, and advance in our own bhakti. Okay, so again, the importance of association. And let's finish on this point that when we associate with foolishness, we lead to foolishness. So in this world, it's like this country, should I say, it's like the dog is kind of considered supreme almost. Everybody loves their dogs. They always think about their dogs, want to feed their dogs. The dogs are, the profile picture and everything and all this. So what's going to happen when you think about a dog every day? What's going to happen to you? You think about a dog every day. Exactly, you come back as a dog. After all that, you take a very happy life, you come back as a dog. 4 legs, his tongue wagging out, complete mess, complete dirty, complete nonsense. That is what you end up with. You just missed out. You missed out on such a number. You missed out the eternal bliss and knowledge. Why? Because you love your dog. It's ridiculous, really. But that is what people do every day. Yeah. So you might say, "Oh, dogs are great." Doesn't mean you have to come back as a dog. So there's nothing foolishness there. What you want to do is go back to Golok Vrindavan. How do you do that? Hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, take association devotees, go to Dham, serve the temple, serve the Sachinanda Nitai chant, keep it going.
Come to Mangal Arti.
Come to Mangal Arti. There you go. So and that way, Krishna enters into the heart.
You missed one. Listen to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class.
So I'm sure I said that, but okay, listen to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. Okay, so Krishna will enter into the heart. That is what it's understood. Krishna is always there as Paramatma as such. But, so, just take this into account. So it's like just an example of, there's like two birds there. One is Atma, one is Paramatma. Paramatma is looking at you. You're not looking at Paramatma. When you start taking interest in Paramatma, then there's a connection there. You're actually looking at each other. You speak to each other. Then Krishna takes guidance. Krishna takes over you. Krishna says, I will guide you. You want my advice? You want my knowledge? You want my information? You want me to look after you? Okay. You take care of, you serve me, I serve you. It's a loving relationship. So that way, it's understood that the Paramatma, which you understand as a manifestation of Keshava Vishnu, yes, becomes Krishna. Krishna guides the pure devotee. And so I'll finish on that. We need to let Krishna enter into your heart. As simple as that, really. When Krishna enters into your heart, then all this miseries that whatever you're facing becomes joy because you do it with Krishna. It doesn't bother you anymore. So like I said, with Radhanath Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, Jeff Thakur Maharaj, all these great devotees, they've gone through so much, but they're happy with serving Krishna. Okay. Any questions? Or did the boss ask all the questions?
I have a question from Jan. Let me give you 1 second.
Okay.
With the sound.
Well, with Krishna.
Maybe Siddharth Chan.
I'm doing Radha Madhav. I'm coming.
No problem.
So nice.
You asked about examples of devotees who have experienced tribulations before coming to Krishna consciousness. Something came to my mind was an example of Ajamila, who was a Brahmana first, and because of bad association, he got engaged into various kind of nefarious activities. And one good thing that he did was name his last child Narayana, and at the time of death he was actually calling out Narayana, his son, but Vishnu Dutas came to his rescue while even the Yamdutas were there. So I was just wondering how potent the Lord's holy name is, even if you are unintentionally calling out to someone else, but the potency is such that the Lord is taking over.
Yeah, like so, Lord's name, the Lord's literary incarnation, Bhagavatam, they are one and the same. That's how potent it is. So, Ajamila is a great example where he was actually qualified Brahmana. He actually did a lot of piety, but so that served him well in that sense. And so when he was, and just again, there's a bit of everything. It's not just even. I guess you give the example of Kamsa. He would just think of Krishna badly, but better to think of Krishna badly than not to think of Krishna at all. So likewise, better to say the name, even if you don't, if you just say it's like your friend, son, whatever his name, better you still get benefit, you still get purification just by saying it. That's how powerful the name is. So like I said, give the example of Kamsa, he's actually thinking about Krishna all the time, Krishna, I need to find ways to get rid of him and everything. But he was purifying him because he's thinking of Krishna. So that is how powerful the name is. You keep thinking about the Lord. You have that is, and like that's Smriti, and then remembrance, constantly